Okay, good afternoon, guys, and welcome to our Springbok press conference. Thanks for joining us. I see we've got a nice big contingent here today. Just to explain how we're going to do this, just so that we can service our media at home as well, is that the first 15 minutes we'll take questions from South Africa online. Then the second 15-minute slot will be reserved purely for media over here. So, yeah. So without further ado, I'm just going to take a couple of questions from back home, and then we'll switch over. Ashfaq, you can fire away.
Thanks, Gina. Good morning or good afternoon, Rassie and Eben. I hope you guys are well. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Rassie, I can't hear you at the moment.
I know, I can hear you. Thanks, Ashfaq.
Okay, cool. Rassie, just two quick things. Firstly, are you going to change your job title this week so that you can still be a water boy on Saturday? And then secondly, you and Jacques were at that game in 2017 with the Boks lost 38-3, and you spoke about it, that you don't want that to happen ever again. Now it's a few years later, and now you in charge of the Boks. How do you see Saturday's game shaping up after what happened a few years ago?
Yeah, just in the first question, obviously it was within the protocol and the laws way back in when I was water carrier, so I'll be back in the coaches box with the coaches on the first one. And then the second one was, yeah, how do we shape up? I mean, we've got a proper hiding 38-3, as you said correctly so. But then the next 2 years, you know, things got better and we managed to win the World Cup. So I guess 5 years since then, both teams have changed dramatically in terms of how they do things and how they play. So obviously the way Ireland has played and you know, the teams they've beaten to be where they are currently, they are doing a lot of things right on and off the field, obviously. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We know we're in for stiff competition, and with a crowd like I'm used to, the Irish crowds, it's a very respectful crowd who enjoys both sides of the game. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good one to watch, Ashfaq.
Nathan?
Thank you, Zina. Good day, gentlemen. Rassie, Ireland Rugby Union confirmed this week they'll be wearing their navy blue jerseys. Can this be resolved with one team wearing the home uniform, the other wear contrast colors, for example, white, as it was done in the past? And then for you, Eben, it seems to be raining on a daily in Dublin. How has training, or let me say preparations, been since arriving in Dublin?
Yeah, thanks, Eben. The thing is, I'm not sure. I looked at those jerseys, if it will clash. For me, it looks like it won't clash, but I mean, I'm not a referee who must make the decisions on the field when it's really tight and close. I guess the guys would have done their homework and would know if it doesn't clash. You know, I just know the home team gets to wear the alternative jerseys, and the visiting team wear the traditional jerseys. So, you know, as long as the referee can see and the fans can see, and we'll be able to play without it disturbing anything. I really, when I compared the two, for me, it looked like that there's a difference, but it's not enough. Yeah, we just know we have to pitch up with our jerseys, and if there's a clash, I mean, the guys who's in charge will sort it out.
Yeah, just on the preparation, I think it went well. Today we obviously experienced some rain, lots of wind, and then earlier the week it was a bit drier. So yeah, I think we used to all the weather conditions. So yeah, whatever comes on Saturday, we've experienced both.
Percy?
Sien baie dankie vir die geleentheid. Goeiemiddag Rassie, goeiemiddag Eben. Ras, kan ek net van 'n vraag? 2 November 2019, die eindstryd van die Wêreldbeker was beslis geweest. Julle is wêreldnommer 1 span. Hierdie naweek kom julle teen 'n nuwe wêreldnommer 1 span te staan. Hoe sien julle sake uitspeel hierdie naweek? En soos jy Ashfaq geantwoord in die Engels, wat in 2017 gebeur het is seker bygones. Hoe sien julle uit na hierdie naweek se wedstryd? En vir Eben, ek aanvaar nog korreksie, was jy deel van die klas van 2017 geweest, en hoe dink jy, hoe gaan dinge anders wees vir julle wees? Dankie.
Wat is die eerste vraag? Wat is die eerste vraag net kort?
Ek sê dit in 2019, 2 November.
Okay, ja, sorry, 2019, ja. Ja, dis quickly Afrikaans. 2019 is iets van die geskiedenis. Ons almal weet, dit was great, het was awesome, maar die World Cup volgende jaar. So, alhoewel ons weet, ons is die wêreldkampioene, speel ons die span wat nommer 1 is in die wêreld hierdie jaar, en volgende jaar, selfs as mense dink ons 2018 gedoen het, het ons nie great gedoen nie in 2019 die Wêreldbeker gewen. So ek dink ons almal hier het dit geniet tot op 'n tyd, maar ek dink ons almal weet die World Cup is nou volgende jaar. Ja, dis basies. En vraag ons weer nee,
Ja, bus, ek was deel van daai span 2017. Dink soos Coach Rassie vroeër gesê, dis dat 'n ander ballgame. Ek dink albei spanne het ander gameplans, het verbeter oor die jare. So gaan lekker toets vir Saterdag en een waar ons self kan meet teen hulle.
Mobeen? Mobeen? Justin, you can ask.
Thank you very much, Gina. Good afternoon, Rassie. Even Rassie, today marks 3 years since that fantastic moment in Japan. I mean, is this something that you guys have spoken about or kind of mentioned within that squad lifted the trophy 3 years ago to the day?
Yeah, we actually had the same question in Afrikaans. Sorry, Percy, I didn't answer it fully. And yeah, Mubin, no, we knew that it was here somewhere around today where, it was 3 years, but that's the point. It was 3 years. And we're now on to the next World Cup, and it was wonderful and it was great, but I think we're all in the mode now of, trying to get momentum. Although we're very proud and it was a great moment in our history, and we've now won 3 World Cups. The aim is now to go into the next year with a very closely contested World Cup. I think any bloody team can win it next year of the top, even the top 9. I mean, a team like Argentina beat New Zealand in New Zealand. I think they're 10th or 11th ranked currently. That just shows you, I mean, how did Scotland push Australia last week till the end. So I think the World Cup is something of the past in terms of bragging rights. I think, it's now focusing, it's just around the corner. So yeah, it's great. And if it's on a day-to-day, we didn't have a special thing about it. We're looking towards next year's one. So thank you.
Justin?
That was now.
That's just.
Was it Saturdag? Oh, sorry. Mubeen, is he back? No, gone. Liam?
Hi, good afternoon, guys. Rassie, a question for you. Given the Springbok success since 2018, have you become more aware of your achievements and the legacy that you will possibly leave? Is that something that over the years have sort of increased and sort of has it weighed you down, basically? I think that's what I'm trying to ask.
If I understand, weigh you down, no, if I understand weigh you down correctly. I think I did understand, maybe not prior to that World Cup. I just know we had great players, and when I came back from Ireland, there's certainly a lot of things that I learned here that I as a coach previously didn't do right in South Africa, and which things that I think whenever you go to other country and you come back, you have some new things that those guys do better than you, and then maybe you, when you went there, brought some skills to that specific team. But I think the thing is definitely, 95 I was a fan. 2007 I was part of the box until they got into the plane, and then Eddie Jones joined them. But I've never experienced what it can do for South Africa. But I also know that it's temporary if we don't do the things that South Africa needs us to do, and to have a voice in world rugby. When I say all over the world, on the field and off the field, and our players get the best possible resources and structures and stuff that we have to sort out. So for me, yes, that lies heavy on my shoulders and on my conscience, that we do always fight as hard as we can. I'm talking internally in South Africa and externally, to make sure that we've got 60 million people, and I think there's about 11 million people that are avid supporters or following rugby. So it's a massive thing. But no, it doesn't. What is the words? It doesn't lie heavy on my shoulder. I'm not sure exactly how you ask it, but I definitely know we have got a big responsibility when it comes to that.
Mike?
Thanks.
Good afternoon, guys. A question for Eben. Just looking at the forwards, the game on Saturday, obviously you guys have played the Rugby Championship packs and the Welsh pack. Just where do you think the Irish fit in? How do they compare to those forward packs? And do they do anything sort of different, something that you've been able to have a look at that they will bring?
Yeah, hello, Mike. I think we saw against that series against New Zealand, they've quite a strong maul. I think they maul quite a bit, and then also got a good scrum. They won a couple of scrum penalties in that series, and must say that they're very clinical at the breakdown. They know exactly their job, and they do their job very well.
Ashfaq?
Rassie, just for you, do you have some inside info there into the Irish? And spend some time there. You know, we all know about the attacking game, and they try and play the phases, but perhaps particularly with the forwards to get that front foot ball for your backline.
Well, the insights. That probably besides, I think, you know, me knowing the Irish setup very well, but then the Irish people know me very well, Irish players and coaches, and you know, so I don't. And Jason Jenkins is with it. I know that question will come up. You know, you can look at it the other way around as well. You know, when we certainly, yeah, I almost want to put on the insights thing out of the way. You know, whenever you get insights, you also give a lot away. So when Jason is joining us, he's going back to Leinster, you know, then obviously you will know a lot about the box as well. So I think that's something that people always ask. But we will never ever pick a guy just for that reason. It would be stupid to bugger around a guy's career. And then to answer your specific question on insights, I think the plans that we made, and we certainly did our analysis proper on them, but I know they would have done the same. You know, they can't be where they are currently if they don't do that. So yeah, it's going to see on Saturday which of those two plans and tactics work. So we're fairly confident, and I know they're fairly confident. So it will be a great matchup.
Percy, is that another question?
Yes, please. Zina, can I also ask Rassie, jy praat van 2017 is iets van die verlede, 2019 is iets van die verlede. Was dit belangrik vir die wêreldkampioene om 'n goeie vertoning op te dis hierdie naweek teen Ierland in die aanloop tot volgende jaar? En hoe dink jy hoe het Ierland oor die jare so goed geword?
Okay, en die eerste vraag, sal die mense ook wil antwoord aan dit. Ierland was eintlik, ek dink in 2018 ook nommer 1 in die wêreld vir 'n ruk. Voor die World Cup. Ek is amper seker daarvan. Ek dink al die All Blacks sou wen nie, so ek praat onder korreksie. So die wêreldranking is baie keer 'n tydelike ding. Ek dink ons was op 'n stadium 1 jaar en 'n half, amper 2 jaar die wêreldkampioene, waar ons nie gespeel het in 2020, dink ek. So maar as mens verby daai wêreldranking kyk en jy kyk suiwer na hulle, ek dink Andy Farrell, en Paul O'Connell, al die ander ouens wat deel is van hulle coaching staff is, ek weet hulle is baie particular en baie detailed georiënteerd, en ek weet die spelers hierso is pro. Dit is baie dinge wat ek hier geleer het wat ons in Suid-Afrika try toepas. So ja, en mense moet krediet gee, jy weet, vir hoeveel spelers wat hulle het om nommer 1 in die wêreld te wees. Maak nie saak hoe dit week is nie. Dit is ongelooflik. So ja, ek kan baie trots wees en ons het harde werk voor Saterdag om dit weer verander.
Yes, unfortunately we need to get to the media over here. So can everybody please put their mics off? Right, guys, questions from the floor?
Rassie, since welcome back to Warren, since you were here last time, you won a Rugby World Cup in South Africa, which is obviously momentous from your point of view. How have you seen Irish rugby evolve from your last trip to where you are right now?
Yeah, well, obviously I've repeated this a few times, so sorry if I repeated it again. I think the challenge for Ireland will always be to, you know, the amount of numbers. There's 4 clubs, and the academy is how it works, and I think, you know, we don't have to talk about those structures. But the one thing they've always done, even when I was way back here, I think David Musifora must get a lot of credit for that, is how they just make players better and, you know, make sure this guy can be a professional player or not a professional player. And they decided really quickly and early in the guy's career, you know, and yeah, I got a real insight into being really honest with young players just over 21, 22, making a decision that will study or work orientated or try and be a professional rugby player. I think they're getting the results, bearing the fruits of that mindset, you know, and also the way they control foreign players coming into their clubs compared maybe to other countries, you know. I really think that's how they maximize their talent, and they just got better and better by it. And You know, Joe was a great coach, but Andy is always a good coach, and having Paul now involved there, there's a lot of experience. So I think of all of those combinations of things, that's where they are currently, and they can be proud.
Just one final question, if you don't mind, in terms of the Rugby World Cup, everybody talks about that. It's down the track, we know. So does Saturday's game have any relevance in terms of that, given the fact that both teams are in the same pool?
I think it spiced it up because they gave us 38 points last time. You know, and it was just before the World Cup, and we would have played them somewhere. And obviously, we did a lot of analysis in 2019. I think when we played Japan, it might have been Ireland there. So we did obviously analysis on them. And yeah, I just think we haven't beaten them here. I think 2012 last in Ireland. So the thing is, since 2018, we were really bad at something. So we had a 50% win record and lost some bad games with bad scores. So you can't actually make it relevant because it's the World Cup has been with the British and Irish Lions has been since. So this is totally two new teams. You know, it's just other coaches. So a new game. It's just a new game.
Rassie, we were speaking to Johnny Saxon yesterday. He said Ireland are the best team in the world this weekend. Obviously, you're world champions. Where would you rank this current Ireland team where they're at now in terms of the best teams in the world? Where would you position them?
Yeah, look, I don't think Johnny or any of them or us will ever try and get the underdog tag. You know, I don't think there's any benefit in trying to be the underdog tag. And I never understand why people, and I'm not talking about Johnny, I'm talking about, I think he's actually one of the guys that understand that world ranking is a temporary thing that can change like that. We don't always understand how the rankings work, but when you look at the team, when you analyze the team, they're red hot. You know, and not blowing smoke up their arse. You know, they're just really competitive in all areas of the game, and that's why I think if you look at our team, there's not a lot of unsettled players in this team because we know we play, and we've had to take a few chances to develop 3 players in a position, maybe one guy who starts off regularly, then a more senior guy pushing really hard, and then a youngster coming. So that's always the ideal situation in each position, but you don't try that against Ireland in Ireland.
Just on this place and what it means to you, what this country means to you. Know you touched on it with Michael, and you said before as well, even emotional time next week when you bring the medal to Anthony Foley's grave. What does this country mean to you personally?
Yeah, it's if you want to talk Castle Connell specifically, and Limerick and Cork and then the rest of Ireland, because you have to be accepted in the country. You know, you go to a country and you come with an Afrikaans accent there, and people have to get used to you, and you have to get used to them. And then Axel passed away, and you don't actually know how the things work, and you know the people guide you through that. And although people thought we as a team and as a management handled that pretty well, I thought the people handled it well. You know, because I don't even know how funeral work in Ireland it's much different in South Africa, and we've been through emotional times together, and I learned a lot about rugby and about personal things, and gone through a lot of things that I think if Irish people weren't the way they were in other countries, I might have said, you know, you're from the outside here, you know, tough luck if you don't understand it, but they didn't do it that way. They helped me. So nice to be back. I know it's not going to be easy or friendly, but I know Irish people are good people.
Good to see you. Could you speak a bit about how different this Ireland team is under Andy compared to Joe tactically? What have you seen? How are they different?
Yeah, I heard you ask the same question to Jacques, and the thing is, you know, why one wouldn't want to answer that because you wouldn't want to talk bad about one of the two, you know. So it's tough to compare without letting, you know, never want to have unnecessary critical things said about. So that's why Jacques answered it the way we did. You know, we don't want to say something. I think this team has got a physical edge on them. I think this team has got a tactical edge on them. I think this team's confident. I think if you take the experience of Johnny and some of the other guys in the team, that's well balanced, and they're playing at home. And you know, he's built up something that, you know, the moment I say it, I'm big friends with Joe, then it's going to sound bad. But Joe had this technical knowledge, which you just know this guy's going to always confuse you with, and they know their role specifically. But I think both of them had tactics. They beat us 38-3. So that's how good Joe was. And now with Andy, the #1 in the world. So it's so difficult to compare. I just think this team's got a apart from the technicalities on them, they've got a real good physical edge on them as well.
Does the fact that you haven't played each other in so long add a bit of kind of unknown to the game Saturday? Do you think it's been quite a while?
Yeah, it's well, I think that's the last time I was on Ireland, you know. So yes, but it's actually mostly it's the crowd, and the crowd, yes, is not hostile and makes you feel, but they support their own. You can feel, you can feel the pressure of them doing something small, great, but the crowd erupts, and the weather, you know, and then obviously the unknown. We've played them. Luckily, a lot of their players played in the URC, which give you that in-touch feeling a little bit with the way they're playing. But yeah, it's a bit of unknown, I guess, for the players as well, and the weather is a challenge.
Hi, Rassie. It's quite likely Conor Murray will win the 100 caps for Ireland on Saturday. You know well as a player and a person. Would you just like achieving suspension or maybe say a little bit about him? You know?
Yeah, Murray is one of the guys. I know. Yeah, he's one of the guys that when our coach at Munster, he was already a senior player, and I'm not sure how exactly it works when Andy announces the team if he'll start or not. When we can, when a guy plays his 100 test match, you know, and he's good enough, and we normally start with a guy on his 50th or 100th test match if he's close to the other guy starting. So I'm not sure how that will work, or if he's going to be in the match at 20. It's only being announced tomorrow, am I right? Yeah. So I'm not sure if he's in there, but yes, yeah, for what he's achieved and how humble he stayed. That was the thing when I got you. I thought I'm going to get this guy who could talk and, you know, be out there all the time. And he's this quiet, reserved guy, and you know, it was such a pleasure getting his rugby IP talking to you, but almost you had to ask always. It wasn't his opinion always. So yeah, I think to play 100 test matches, even it's just done it the other day, and in any country, that's well done. And he's a nice guy and an awesome bloke, and he knows the game. Yeah, so if he gets his run on Saturday, congrats to him.
I have to ask you something more. I know 7-8 at the moment, but he created a lot of publicity over here in that brilliant Jason Sun documentary, but I'm still reading dark result.
I don't know. Oh, the software. No, that didn't coming. No, I didn't particularly think that team had a very hard edge. You know, to be honest with you, I thought technically, and the players, you can ask him alone over a beer at the bar when you get the chance. What I was trying to explain, but I know people will think it's covering up. I thought the technicality in which they play with was their major thing that one had to counter. It wasn't maybe robustness and, you know, in your face, that kind of play. It was really these guys outsmart you. That's the way they played. But obviously, I can't say that about the current team because, you know, they are where they are. And maybe they thought when they gave us 38-3, maybe they thought we didn't have a physical edge or we were softish, you know. So things change as quickly.
Rassie, you have secretly senior side, which is required to work with. You've also worked with Peter O'Mahony, who we assume is fit and is going to be playing tomorrow. You've had big adventures with Say Khaleesi, but you've had equally big adventures with Peter O'Mahony. You've seen him cry and break down and recover in front of you, in front of all of us at a press conference. What about Peter O'Mahony, the man? What do you make of him? And then just as an addendum at the end, is he up there with Say Khaleesi for you?
Oh, that's a difficult question to, as a man, I mean, you guys know him better than I do because I only coached him for 18 months, just under 2 years. But we've been through the actual passing away and having that press conference. And yeah, again, as I said, Irish people, then I'm talking Irish players, Irish coaches. And Peter was the captain then. So yeah, there were times when I didn't know what to do and he gave advice. And I think there were times when his form went up and down, but he's still there. I think he's close to 100, isn't he, at 90 or 86 caps or something like that. So, yeah, good guy, guy that helped me through things when I didn't know how to do things. He helped me a lot. And then comparing him with Sia, it's just to, yeah, different backgrounds, different kind of players. One's a line out forward. You see us more breakdown. He sorts out breakdown on the attacking side of things, where Peter is more a guy that sorts out breakdown on the defensive side of things. So the comparison is difficult to make. I can just tell you both are very, very good players.
Question over there.
And Rassie, how do you hope your team can challenge Ireland in ways that maybe other teams haven't over the last few?
No, my first game was for the SA team in Ireland, again in Cork, against Keith Wood. And Keith Wood was running, we didn't know the guy, and he ran over everybody. And I think if they had 15 Keith Woods, they would have run all of us the whole day. So we've got certain strengths that we think will be good in this game. But I don't think this is definitely a team that you can just run over with. We have to make some special plans to outsmart them as well, because Andy is an ex-rugby league guy. I think he was one of the toughest rugby league players that there were, and he's the defensive coach, and the technical things that Paul brings into the game. We'll have to be smart. So obviously I don't say where I think we're going to be smart. Let's see if we're smart on Saturday. We hope so.
Their attacks have been spoken a lot. How particular challenges that you need to challenge them.
Yeah, we'll have to defend well. Our wing scores tries. We get some tries also as well. So it works both sides. If the weather plays along, hopefully we get some as well. But yes, our defense will have to be top notch. But other way around as well.
Rassie, just wondering, your relationship with the Rugby Stadium, didn't have too much fun when you were there every month. So what are your memories of those times?
No, I haven't won a game yet. So yeah, I think when I was a player last, when I was part of a team that came and play not a Viva, way back in the days, it wasn't called the Viva Stadium, and I played here. But yeah, I haven't been with a Springbok team or a Munster team to the Viva to win a game. Even against the Scarlets, the final of Pro 14, we got a proper hiding, I think, with 38 points or something like that. So yeah, not great memory. So hopefully that will change.
Guys, just take another question or two from the floor.
Yes, everyone.
Yeah.
Evan, good to see you. Would you agree with Rassie that this Ireland team has more of an edge to it than maybe previous ones?
Yeah, I think like I said earlier, also they got a serious win in New Zealand. We all know that's not the easy thing to do. So yeah, they're definitely ranked #1 in the world currently. So it's going to be a great test match for us, and also I think it does add a bit of spice. We're playing them in the World Cup next year, so it's almost like a curtain raiser for that game. But yeah, we fully focus on this test match. I know we still got a long enough year tour, but Ireland have been on our minds for the last couple of weeks.
Do you think either team, like if depending on the result, could get a bit of an edge going into that World Cup game next year, psychologically even?
Yeah, it's a difficult one to answer. I think the World Cup will be something on its own. I think it will just be, like I said, we last played them in 2017, so you almost can expect something then in the World Cup. So it's nice to play them this year.
Cool. Last question.
Rassie, can I ask you one final question if you don't mind? I think you mentioned earlier that it's your first time back in the coaching box this coming weekend. Have you learned something about yourself in your absence from the coaching box, and how frustrating has that been, and are you looking forward to being there this weekend again?
Yeah, I've certainly learned. I love rugby, and I love match days, and I love being with the guys in the change room, and I missed it a hell of a lot. And it's something that it's gonna be nice to be back. It's not nice not to be with the guys, or during the week with the guys, and then the bus goes with the players, and you go to your room. So I really love rugby. I love South Africa. I like the boys. We get on well, and it's nice to be back.